Thank you very much. Okay, so here we are at school today. Why are we at school? Well, the government requires us to do so, right? But what if the government doesn't require us to do so? Why do we go to school in this uniform, sit here for 8 hours? And some may want to say, hey, I want to learn. But what is learning? Why do we want to learn? And in recent years, some students have said, I don't want to go to school. I'm not learning at school. So why is this happening? And I was in the MTR station yesterday, and I was talking to a friend, and that friend asked me a question. Jack, why are you so good at school? And I said, well, I like school. And then he said, how do you get the grades? And I said, well, you need to like what you learn. And I think this is particularly important, to like what you learn, and that is the key to getting grades or be educated, essentially. But the problem is with the education system and how the education system is not encouraging us to learn, but it's encouraging us to simply get those grades and simply get those 7s, and then you leave school with a good report card, and you go to university, and then you get your bachelor's degree, maybe a master's, and then maybe a doctor's, and then get a good job, good life, and then have a family. But I mean, this aim of the school isn't to prepare students to become a successful person in the society in terms of earning money or forming a family. It's more about how to encourage and cultivate people into lifelong learners. But now, here we are at school in this traditional school paradigm. And what this paradigm is that we sit here 8 hours every day in a classroom, and then there's a teacher at front, like now, I'm teaching, and I give you information. I feed you with information every single day, regardless of which subject. And then the students just sit there and then listen. Maybe they'll take notes, maybe they'll ask questions. And that's it. And then there might be some, what I call pseudo-interaction. For example, if I'm a teacher and I ask, Bob, what's 1 plus 1? And then Bob says here, 2. And then the teacher might say, good, well done, that's the correct answer. So we have this question, answer, response type of pseudo-interaction. That's not really interaction. Why? Because it doesn't encourage students to know more. It's just that the teacher acknowledges that the student is correct in respect of the question. And then the student doesn't know why 1 plus 1 equals 2, or why are numbers important, and why is mathematics important. I mean, this is what the teacher should do. It's not just validating answers, but it's about how to inspire students to become a self-learner, how to motivate this interest-motivated learning. Now, this comes to another problem with the current school system, the problem of grade-based motivation. Now, everybody here wants to get good grades, I presume. Yes. And everybody wants to leave the school and graduate with a good report card. But the problem is that we might not be learning anything when we're going for this number, 7. And when we want this number 7, we'll be looking at, for example, study notes or exam strategies, how to look and how to see a problem and then answer correctly in the minimal amount of time in the exam. But that is not allowing us to learn about the concepts behind those questions and answers. For example, I know several classmates that are really good at school. They get straight 45s for their predicted grade for the IB diploma. But then, when I talk to them, they aren't really thinking about what they're trying to say. They aren't really reflecting on why they want to say this and why they believe in such an idea, for example. So we have made students who want to get grades, but not for the sake of self-improvement or self-learning, but for the sake of getting a good report card and for that number. And then another aspect is that the school is actively encouraging this attitude towards education. It's about quantitating grades and allowing students to use such methods to get those grades and not learn about anything in those subjects. But to be quite frank, this is a lazy and it's an easy task for the school and for the students too. Because when you put the students into a spreadsheet and you click data, sort, and then you have every single student in that spreadsheet listed from the best achieving students and the low achieving students. And it is the importance of internal motivation that we need to shift to in learning. I mean, on the internet right now, there are loads of different learning materials. On YouTube, there's Khan Academy. There are loads of different teachers doing videos. And then there is this demand-based learning. The student is actually seeking knowledge for themselves. They're, for example, reading Wikipedia for themselves. They're not being fed information by teachers every single day and not absorbing them. What I'm saying is that teachers should no longer be the fact givers. Yes, they should answer questions and they should give their view on the expertise on the subject area. But the main learner should be the students. And it is our responsibility as students to actually like learning and to refrain from getting and using those grade getting strategies, those shortcuts in education. It's not about learning then. It's about getting those grades. So what I'm saying is that we should encourage also an inquiry-based learning. We've always talked about inquiry-based learning, and loads of educators have talked about inquiry-based learning. Well, what exactly is it? It's not about going on a computer, going Google search, and then you got the answer, and then you paste it in your notes. It's about actually absorbing that information and then thinking how we can use it, not only in school assignments, but everyday life. We should be interested in whatever we're studying, be it English, PE, or chemistry, biology, physics, for example. We need to fulfill our goal, we need to fulfill our role as students to love learning. And when we love learning, school is not a daunting task. And when we love learning, we're able to learn outside school. We're no longer confined to this institution or a particular curriculum. And we're able to look past the curriculum and implement those knowledge we've learned at school into our everyday lives. And when we are motivated by the subject, we're no longer seeking that great fulfillment. We're looking for fulfillment through the knowledge we gain. But the solution is quite complicated. And I'm not saying we should suddenly, we should abandon the entire school system that we've been using since the Industrial Revolution. No. We should do a gradual change, first in attitude, then in system. The attitudes must come from teachers and students alike. Teachers should be inspiring. They should be about telling students where to look and how to look at information and knowledge. For example, if I'm researching about the cells, human cells, then the teacher might guide the students to websites or information and areas to look into about the cell, and then talk about how interesting cells are and why the students should care about looking into cells. I mean, why should we care about math? Why should we care about English? Why should we care about science? It is the key concept, and it's a key notion that the teachers must convey to students, that why they should care about school in the first place. Students should not be forced into school or forced to wake up every single day and say, oh no, it's Monday, I need to go to school. It should be about, hey, it's Monday, it's school time, I'm going to learn something today. And this might sound a bit utopian, but we should encourage this attitude as students that we should love learning. I mean, we have loads of students who love gaming. We have loads of people who play Halo, we have loads of people who play COD. But why? Why do we have so many game addicts when we don't have education or knowledge addicts? The reason is why they don't have any motivation. They don't have any motivation besides the grades. And this attitude of knowledge-based motivation must be cultivated by both teachers and students. And when we have the interest in ourselves, when we care about looking into one thing, we can go a long way. We can go into looking at, for example, using the example cells, we can look into why we care about cells, what do cells do, and this is what basically education should be about. It's about giving the students an opportunity to enhance their horizon. It's about giving us the knowledge so that we will expand on our knowledge base after school, after this institution, after we graduate. And loads of time we've said, okay, students, after you've graduated, you need to be an adult, you need to be realistic, you need to earn money, and then you need to create a family. But that is not our goal. Our goal is about being a better person. But a better person doesn't necessarily mean having good morals or ethic values. It should be about being a person who can think. And by thinking, it's a skill. Thinking cannot be taught. But thinking can be cultivated through education. But the education system that continuously feeds you with information, which you have no interest in, will not cultivate a thinking culture. And when we think, we can become better people because we understand more about the world. So this is a cycle. When we think more, we understand more about the world. And when we understand more about the world, we generate more questions. And then more we think. And it's this cycle we want to cultivate at school. And that's why we need to love education. And it's not about one person feeding you the information, but discovering the world and your community by yourselves. Thank you very much.